to give you documentations, girl.
Oh my God, do. Somebody please say it ain't so. Rich Homie Quan is still deceased. Young Thug is home. And Young Thug has yet to mention anything about Rich Homie Quan, his family, his kids. He didn't do a recap of the funeral. There's a lot of people thinking that he had something to do with Rich Homie Quan's death. And now that his father is trying to figure out a way to put out Rich Homie Quan's music, YSL Woody is not trying to do no features. Young Thug, nobody from the YSL is even trying to hop on them tracks. Even though Rich Homie Quan is no longer here, his presence is still felt because with the price of rent, the price of food, the price of gas, the stakes is high because the stakes is high and everybody feeling some type of way. If there was a way to bring this brother back, I know they would do it. Elon Musk been in talks with Donald Trump and Kanye West and a couple of important people in Atlanta to try to pull that off. But as far as we know, Young Thug don't care nothing about Rich Homie Quan. And that's why a lot of people feel like his silence is disrespecting Rich Homie Quan. Young Thug asked if he had an issue with Rich Homie Quan during the RICO trial days before the rapper's death. And he laughed it off. He thought it was funny that they would even mention Rich Homie Quan, especially allegedly knowing what was gonna go down a couple of days after they mentioned him in court. Because for those of you that didn't know, Rich Homie Quan was supposed to be attending court to testify against Young Thug and the whole YSL. But that never happened because Rich Homie wound up deceased in his home with his baby mama, his brothers, and his homies all in the same house. They said they noticed him passed out on the floor the night before. They just dragged him to the couch, left him there, and then the next day, that's when his baby mother decided to take the blanket off of his face, call the police, call the ambulance so they can come get the body. They said he was foaming out the mouth. It's a sad story, and everybody heard it, including Young Thug, but he has yet to open his mouth and say anything about what happened to this dearly deceased man. Y'all gotta let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about this, because me, I'm devastated, I'm heartbroken. He need to be paying all that respect and all that tribute while he still got a chance, because regardless of what happened during the time when they was beefing, once upon a time they was friends. So he gotta have a heart, a soul, something inside of him gotta be telling him that he need to speak out on Rich Homie Quan's behalf. Either if he could do it in a song, he could do it in a public place, he can talk to a tree. However, he gotta express himself. He need to figure out exactly how to do it, because if he continue on this way, it's only gonna get sadder for him from here on out. Now, I appreciate the fact he came home and now he's staying out of trouble. He banned in like 52 states. Them pineapples must be delicious in Hawaii because he ain't been saying too much. But the problem people having with Young Thug is the fact that he's not saying anything about Rich Homie Quan. Even though back in the day that used to be his friend. I'm mad, I'm sad, people disturbed and disgusted. Rich Homie Quan father mentioned how he was drunk and had an alcohol problem, and Rich Homie Quan drunk all of his Ciroc. And when he went to get a sip of his Ciroc, it was water in there because Rich Homie Quan drunk his liquor and put water in his Ciroc bottles. And he mentioned that at that man's funeral as if he had a sigh of relief because he knows stuff like that is never gonna happen again. Rich Homie Quan's sister says some unfavorable things about him as well. So Young Thug need to come out and clean all that up. He need to say some good stuff to clear all of that stuff up, man. Because God forbid we all be at a Young Thug funeral and the YSL gonna be crying. Them tears gonna be slimy. He gonna wish that somebody out there that used to be his friend, that turned into his op, say some nice things about him so he can rest in peace. So how come he can't do that same thing for Rich Homie Quan? I really need for people in the comment section to answer this question for me, because ever since I found out that Young Thug been disrespectful, He haven't been keeping it real. He haven't been speaking to his fans the way he should be speaking to his fans on a daily basis. He ought to consider an OnlyFans page, and it don't even have to be nothing raunchy, but just to tap in with the people that was praying for him, supporting him while he was going through that trial. I did plenty of videos on this channel right here telling people to pray for Young Thug. Pray that he get out of jail, because I didn't like the way Fannie Willis was doing him. I thought it was unethical the way they had them dudes in the courtroom looking all dusty like that, knowing they got millions of dollars in the bank. But even when they was on the street, they carried themselves like they was bums. But that's the whole point of being a young thug. If you're gonna be 40 years old calling yourself a young thug, you might as well dress, act, and at least pretend to be a young thug. That way your fan base won't feel deceived. But this is the ultimate deception right here. He called him his hubby back in the day. Now he acting like he never knew that man. He don't want to give him a shout out, a tribute. I'm gonna tell you this, Young Thug, if you listening, brother, you only got one life to live and only one chance to get it right. And now's your chance. Your brother is gone. They saying you had something to do with it. A couple of days after he passed, you became a free man. They saying it's a sacrifice. And I really hope that's not the case, but with you disrespecting him with this silence, that's what it's starting to look like. I hope everybody in Atlanta get another stimulus check, because that oil spill over there in Cummington or whatever that was, it was tragic. I could still see the black smoke in the sky. They talking about Young Thug banned from Atlanta. They probably trying to save his life. And I ain't trying to be grim, I ain't trying to be sinister, but we all got a due date. And for the people that's already gone, they deserve the utmost love and respect that Young Thug is not giving to Rich Homie Quan. And I decided to make this video to let y'all know that it's possibly about time for y'all to repent and get on the right track too, because you don't want to end up like Young Thug. Big fat in the courtroom with funky dreads. He finally came home and they found out that he had about 10 girlfriends when he was in jail. I doubt if he got to touch any one of them, but he touched himself thinking about every last one of them. Now that he home, he can't even get close to them because his probation is so bad that he can't even eat or sleep without telling security guards that get paid to stand in his house all day peeking around corners just to see what the hell he doing. He can't even be freaky no more. He's scared to go outside because it's going to be a big fat bodyguard with a machine gun following him everywhere he go. He sold his soul just to be under constant surveillance for the next 15 years. And after 15 years, he going to be 55 years old. The only thing that's going to be watching him is the birds while he watching the birds. Y'all got to let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section, man. I feel like Rich Homie Quan deserve a lot more than what he been getting from Young Thug, YSL Woody, and the rest of the people that been in his organization ever since he was a child star on Star Search and Showtime at the Apollo. His father deserves better. His mother, his brother, his whole family, his cousins, and if any of Rich Homie Quan's family is listening, I got so much love for y'all, and I want to say rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. And for his kids out there, your father was a great man. And by Young Thug not saying nothing about his passing, that's making me feel some type of way. For my people in the comment section, y'all gotta let me know tonight. Are you mad at Young Thug? Do you feel like he could have did better with his friendship with Rich Homie Quan? Is he being disrespectful by staying silent? He disrespecting Rich Homie Quan, Rich Homie Quan's father, Rich Homie Quan's sister, his cousin, his aunties, names, his whole family. I don't like it. Y'all shouldn't like it neither. And I was gonna shut up about it, but it's a few more things I gotta say about it because I really can't stand it that much. Young Thug is a good dude, whether you know it or not. You can't tell by listening to his music, but people that know him personally say that he's one of the most sweetest souls out there that you ever met. So how come he can't exercise some of that God-given love that he been blessed with according to a lot of people out there and extend some of that love to somebody that he once loved, somebody that he once called his hubby? He acting like he hate him with all of his heart, all of his soul. And that's why people thinking that it ain't nothing but a dark sacrifice that took place. Lil Woody's run as the star witness on the YSL RICO trial came to an end as he was called to the stand Saturday, September 3rd for the last time. The last time they heard from YSL Woody, he had Rich Homie Quan on his mind, on his tongue, on his mouth, and he spoke about him in the courtroom. While on the stand, the persecutors asked Woody, born Kenneth Copeland, about Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan's relationship. Yes, no, I don't recall. Did Young Thug have an issue with Rich Homie Quan bringing members of his gang into his apartment? The persecutor asked. Instead of answering the question, Woody thought it was a good idea to ask Thug the same question again. Thug, did you have an issue with Rich Homie Quan? He asked before being cut off. This exchange prompted the entire courtroom to let out a few laughs, including Thug. So they all knew what was gonna happen. They all knew it was going down in a couple of days. They all knew that they was about to be headed home to spend their money and buy Tesla trucks and things. And Rich Homie Quan was the pun of the joke. Now they all home and nobody sending no RIPs in his direction. I'm disgusted, man. I'm heartbroken. I would have never thought it was this cold and this sinister in the entertainment industry until I seen this. I gotta go, man. Y'all gotta let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section. I got so much love for y'all. Make sure y'all do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button too. Yo, I'ma holla at y'all on my next video. For you ladies out there, I risk my motherfucking life.
Risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl.